So the subject of soul is an absolutely huge one. I could speak for days about soul, but I'm just going to talk for 15 to 20 minutes about soul and hopefully give you some indication of the importance of soul in our healing work and in our work as a soul coach. So the soul is essentially has its own life force. It's really, really important to understand that. In Māori, it's called the Maori, the life force. And so that life force needs to be created, sustained, and maintained on the soul's earthly journey. And what that means is that we have to give it the food or the nourishment that it needs. So the soul comes in, every human being comes into incarnation at a certain time. And it comes into incarnation at a time that is perfectly suited for the soul's objectives in that lifetime. So the soul does a review. When it ends a life, it does a review. And based on that review, it determines what it wants to accomplish in the next lifetime. And a very, very important part of that is the primary expression of soul that it wants to master in the next lifetime. And so it comes in with the right pattern as indicated in the astrological chart that is there to support it in this opportunity that it's got when it comes into incarnation. So every incarnation is an opportunity for the soul. It's not some random just, pop in to have a stroll around the earth plane. It's a very, very organized process to begin with. There's a plan. If we look at Saturn, there's a plan, right? So if you can bring up I want two cards, please, the World card and the Fool. So if you bring up the World card first. In the tarot, of course, there is the Death card, and it's very easy to think, oh, that's the death, that's all about the death. But actually, the World card is the card of completion. It's key number 21. It's the card of completion. So we can see here that when the soul leaves an incarnation, you can see in this image, the soul is looking back. So the soul is going to take time to review that lifetime, the lifetime that's now completed. It's going to take time to review that lifetime. It is let go of its physical form. It's the cloak that it wore, which is why the figure is naked or partially naked. It's let go of the cultural cloak it was wearing, or the identity, the personality that it was attached to. And it's ready to go home. And in that process, it's reviewing. And then when it does go home, that review process continues. Okay, there's a clear space, as we can see in this World card. There is a clear space where that assessment process, that evaluation process takes place, and a new plan. Because remember, this card, the World card, is ruled by the planet Saturn. Okay, it's ruled by the planet Saturn, which is endings and plans and structures. So it's very, very clearly shown in this card that there's an end, but there'll be a beginning. Now, if you bring up the Fool, please, card number 0. So here we see in the World, the soul has done its review, and then the Fool, it's ready to come into incarnation again. Okay, and we can see the 0, right? There's limitless possibilities. But while there are limitless possibilities, there are also things that have to be addressed in that lifetime as determined by the assessment and the plan that's been formed. And so that's why we see, right, in the Fool's rucksack or bag, it's got everything that it needs. on that bag, sometimes there's an eye shown on that bag, which means, that we're being watched. Our higher self is watching that process as we come down. So our objective when we come down, one of the key things, one of the main things is the life path, the master, the soul quality that we want to master in that lifetime, that will stay with us for that whole lifetime. While there are always cycles within cycles within cycles, there's the soul that has chosen its primary experience that it wants to master. So it's chosen to come into a particular classroom. And with the first breath, when that soul comes in and takes its first breath and it's inspirited, then that's stamped on the soul. Okay, and that every day is an opportunity for the soul to expand and grow when it comes into incarnation. But particularly, while there's lots of experiences, every experience that the soul has is an opportunity for it to expand and grow. There are many, many experiences, but there's one primary one that it is seeking to master. And it can only do that by taking physical form and engaging in the world. So remember, the soul is here to evolve and grow. That evolve and grow means, based on the soul's review that it has done from previous lives or lifetimes, it doesn't want to do things the same way. Evolution is about changing how we do something, improving upon how we're doing something. So the soul is no exception. It is here to evolve and grow. We can think we're here for a whole lot of different reasons, but at the very, very heart of our existence is we are programmed, we are primed to evolve and grow. So the classroom that the soul has chosen to do that in is of paramount importance. It's of paramount importance. I'll just talk briefly about the topic of ambivalence. Can you bring up the Two of Swords for me, please? So the soul comes in and it has an ambivalent relationship with physical existence. Ambivalence is at the core, once again, when we come into existence. It's a core issue that most people have. And ambivalence means, in the context I'm talking about it with the soul, is the soul is ambivalent about being here. Part of it wants to be here because it wants to evolve and grow, because it needs a physical form to be able to do that. It needs to come into incarnation to do that. So part of it wants to be here. Part of it doesn't. Part of it just wants to go back home. Part of you wants to be here and part of you doesn't. Right. Well, now you understand why. That's a soul thing. And so how to actually help ourselves or help our clients to be here, to be here, we must have an understanding of what the purpose is. Now, the purpose is multifaceted. There are many, many reasons things we want to tick off when we come into incarnation. But the key one to address that ambivalence is really understanding what that master, the life path is that we've chosen, the lesson that we've chosen, and to be totally present with that. And we can't do that unless we know what it is. So being able to assist our clients to come into relationship with that, with their life path, with their master key, is an incredible gift to be able to give them. So, just looking at some key points about soul, right? What's the purpose of incarnation? The soul incarnates in physical form to experience, learn, grow, and evolve. And each lifetime offers unique opportunities for the soul to gain wisdom and understanding, but particularly, as I say, through its chosen life path. So when the soul does that, then it moves to higher states of consciousness. Okay, everything's frequency. So it's moving to a higher state of consciousness. Now, working consciously with our life path, our master key, is really a healing process in itself, an incredible healing process in itself, because by applying ourselves to that lesson, to that master key, then we can consciously or unconsciously release limiting beliefs, heal traumas, transform negative patterns. So many things happen when we apply ourselves to that master key, that life path that we have selected, because we've chosen it for a reason. Can you please bring up the Six of Swords? Thank you. So in the Six of Swords, what we see is we see the journey of the soul in another way. We can see, right, the soul doesn't come in as a blank slate. Remember, the soul has had previous incarnations. It's had a chance to review what worked and what didn't, and it's coming in with an intent and a purpose. But it comes in with a history. It comes in with a history. And so that, if we look at the swords that are in, if we look at this card, we can see the troubled water to the right. So the soul's come in and it's gone through the veil and it's troubled about, it's troubled. It wants to sort or fix or address things that haven't sat easily with it when it's done its review. We can look back in hindsight. When we look back in hindsight and we think, wow, I could have done that better. I could have done that in a different way. And so it's no different. That's exactly what the soul does. It looks and it's troubled. It wants to have another go at it, you might say. And so we see that in that card. The swords indicate the fixed beliefs that it wasn't able to, say, release in previous lifetimes. So it comes in with stuff. Comes in with very clear intent. It's got a destination, and you can see the trees on the land that it's going to. That's about growth and blossoming and all the things that are associated with, we're going to plant a new seed. We're going to make a fresh start, like we saw with the Zero card. We're going to make a fresh start. We've got another chance. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? We can have another go at it. And so the very clear intent is shown there by the male figure, which is that proactive. This is in accordance with our spirit. We've come back in accordance with our spirit, and we have clear intent. The male figure is holding like a wand or a staff. So we have a clear intent. As I said before, we're not just coming in to have a, to chill out and do same old, same old. We have a clear intent. So coming back to healing, that healing and transformation automatically happen when the soul is comes into alignment and accord with that master key. So remembering that the soul's journey is infinite, in as much as that quest for growth and evolution. It isn't necessarily about, we're going to perfect it. Our objective is to master that master key in this lifetime. But once we've mastered it in this lifetime, then we can bring it into the next lifetime and become even more skilled. And that key is integrated, completely integrated. Remember, with the Ankh, there's one key, but that one key is composed of 22 keys. Okay, 22 keys. So understanding that component, the key we're working with, is a component of the one key. the one thing.